channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 17, guys. Usually this is the last week. However, I think it was 2 years now. They shortened the preseason. We have 18 weeks, so we have a week next week. Difficult week next week. This week you got to do a little more research than normal just because some teams don't have to play for this. Most teams, though, right now are playing for something. So keep that in mind. Next week's a little different. Next week, guys may sit, rest guys. They may, pull guys out early in the second half. It's really difficult next week. This week, we should be fairly good. I'm going to go over the playoff scenarios in this video. We're also going to obviously go over 3 games, teaser options, and my favorite underdog. And of course, it's the last video of 2022, guys. So I'm going to do a quick recap on that as well. SystemSportsCapping.com is the website. Receive my personal plays in all sports. I handicap anywhere from 5 to 7 different sports depending on the time of the year. Currently, we are handicapping NFL, NBA, NHL. PGA is back next week. So looking forward to that. And then UFC is back January 14th. Social media, guys. Social media is System Capping. Most active on my Instagram and Twitter. That's where you can find sports betting info, free picks, fun facts just in the sports news world, sports info, winning tickets, updates, client comments as well over the years. Like this video, guys. It helps me out a lot. Share, comment as well. Last video of 2022. It was a profitable year in all sports. Some better than others, of course. It's always going to be different from sport to sport. That's what allows me my flexibility. I'm a handicap multiple sports. I don't just handicap one sport. If you do that, you have a bad year in one sport, let's say, you're limiting yourself. We handicap NHL, NBA, NFL, UFC. Those were my top markets this year. Of course, PGA we handicap as well. Profitable year in the PGA, just not as good as these 4 here. NHL and NBA actually been my best winning percentage the past year. NHL and NBA. NFL, we of course had a big year last year in the NFL. Huge year. Obviously with the Rams outright, future market was great. This year just very up and down. It's not my best NFL year this year. Of course it's profitable, but it hasn't been my best compared to others where I had crazy seasons. Let's go over some fun runs here. Some highlights of the year. 22-4 UFC run, all fights. And we also had a 25-3 UFC run, all fights. Those are the 2 big runs I had. I had some great winning percentages throughout the UFC this year. UFC is always a good sport for me. You guys know that. We had a couple it hasn't been as good to end the year. November, December hasn't been as good profit-wise. But overall, at the end of the year, definitely a profitable UFC year. Another big highlight was 11-2 President's Cup. In the PGA, guys. 11-2, all bets, right? You can bet all the matchups throughout the weekend and top finishes. Great President's Cup for myself and clients. Best ticket that I won on the UFC, my favorite one, was a Kevin Holland by submission plus 900. That was a big ticket. That was a client ticket. I saw the path there, and he definitely got there. Some other notable outrights on the year. Rams plus 1,200, right? That was last year's Super Bowl, but it was in February, so it's 2022. Big end to the year in the NFL season, like I mentioned. We had a great NFL season last year. Big future market as well. This year it's going to be up and down in the future market, at least from the regular season. We have some future tickets in the Super Bowl that at least one of them does look promising. What else do we have here? Argentina, right? Argentina outright winner, plus 550. Argentina outright winner in the World Cup. It was a profitable World Cup for myself and clients. Some notable golf outrights. Xander Cantlay plus 850. Zurich Open. We had Justin Thomas plus 1,600. PGA and Cam Smith plus 2,500. That's back-to-back major outright winners, guys. Cam Smith was plus 2,500 in the open there. We also had a nice ticket on Finau, plus 1,400, 3M open. A couple smaller ones that aren't notable, but DJ, plus 600. Live Golf, and then Rom, plus 500 end of year there in the DP Tour. All my winning tickets, guys, are over on Instagram. Go check them out. I save all my winning tickets. I post all my winning tickets, unlike probably most guys out there that don't even bet their own bets. So go over there, check out my Instagram. It's saved in the story section if you want to check all the winning tickets there. Weekly update in the NFL. Let's do a weekly update in the NFL here. No profit last week in the NFL. Wrong side of a few bad beats, which I'll discuss here. The Dolphins being one of them, right? They were winning the game, looked great in the first half, and then 3 interceptions in a row by Tua loses them the game. Dolphins didn't score at all in the second half. Wild. Wild there. I thought it was a great spot for the Dolphins to bounce back, and they played well for 2 quarters, right? And they just didn't show up in the second quarter. In the second half, I don't know what to say about there. I like the spot there and bet that 10 out of 10 times. What else here? Wrong side of a couple spreads as well. Detroit Lions in a good spot. They're playing great football going into Carolina. They needed to win to have a chance still in the playoffs. I think they may have a slight chance, but it's not going to happen now. They had a big chance there. They didn't show up. And then Browns on the road at home in a tough weather game. I thought it was a good spot for them. They were winning the game. They let Saints come back there. The Browns had a couple chances in the end zone. They couldn't catch the ball in the end zone. Nice throws by Watson. I wouldn't really put Watson's fault in that game. They just didn't catch the ball when they needed to or make the big run. What else here? We had a good prop market. We had a good prop market here. 4-2. We finished well in the prop market, hitting all of our bigger plays. And we ended the week well with a Chargers win and Keenan Allen over in his yardage. Overall, 76 and 56 since week 2. Moneyline, parlays, and props have been the best markets for me this year. It's always different, right? Sometimes I'll have a crazy spread market, spread season, 66. We had 1 year 70%. I'll never forget that year. That's wild for spreads and totals. That was 2019. I usually try to hover around the 65% mark. Spreads haven't been my go-to this year. I've been finding other ways to cash, and it's been in the prop market and money line parlays market as well. What else here? Yeah, that's it. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a profitable regular season. It's just not my best season that I had in the NFL. But like I mentioned, I don't just handicap the NFL, guys. That's the good thing, right? I handicap multiple sports. And just because I don't do a video on them every week, it's very difficult to do a video on NBA and NHL. That means I would have to do a video every day, and I'm just not able to do that. So that's why I just do videos on UFC and NFL. But my knowledge is the same throughout all sports. In NBA, we just continue to profit. Continue to hit winners, 57 and 30 going back to 2021. That's 66%, guys. 7-2 current run right now in the NBA. NHL, same thing, right? Somewhat of a lower volume, some would say, but it's going back to 2021. Same 66%. We're hovering around 58 and 31 all NHL bets. UFC and PGA has been off, so no updates there. Obviously, soccer, we know, big World Cup, Argentina outright winner for a full unit. I'll be looking at 3 big games. 3 big games this week. Tampa Bay versus Carolina. Didn't think this would be an important game, but it is. It is in that division. Pats versus Miami. Another important game, especially for Miami, who's starting Teddy Bridgewater. I'll go over that. And a big Monday night game. Easily the best game. Maybe it could be the best game of the year. Bengals versus Bills. 2 of the AFC best. And a tough game to bet from a side standpoint. First, let's look at the playoff scenarios, guys. Playoff scenarios. NFC is clinched. Vikings won the North, guys. Vikings won the North. I was on Green Bay for that division. 49ers clinched the West. I did think the 49ers were going to win that division. Did not bet it. Dallas, playoff berth. Eagles, playoff berth. That has not been decided yet, that division. Dallas still has an outside chance to win that division, but they are in the playoffs. So both teams do have something to play for. Giants have a good chance to make the playoffs, guys. Yes, win and you're in. However, could still get in if they don't. If they don't, Seattle lose, Washington lose, Seattle lose, Detroit lose, Green Bay lost, or tie, or Washington lost, Detroit lost, Green Bay lost. There's a lot going on there. Go check out Adam Scheffler, Ian Rappaport. They have the whole long breakdown. It's like this. I'm not going to go over every scenario, just some ones that caught my eye. Giants play Indy, so they should win this week. Could be somewhat of a trappy game. I see Giants are favored of 5.5. I don't love that. But I lean Giants to win the game at home. Bucs need to just win versus the Panthers. Huge game there in Tampa Bay. Looking forward to that one. I may actually watch that full game. More scenarios like I mentioned. Go check Rappaport and those guys out. AFC, Bills won the East. Definitely did think that. Chiefs won the West. That's a no-brainer. You couldn't bet it though. It was a crazy price. Ravens are in. Bengals are in. Chargers are in. I did hit the Chargers there to make the playoffs, so I was happy about that. All these teams still have something to play for. Ravens and the Bengals are battling for the North. And Chargers are batting for playoff seed, right? You want to try to play the team that's ranked least, so you want to get a better spot in the wildcard rankings. Where the Bills win and KC lost, they clinch home field advantage. So Bills are still playing for something. Home field advantage is huge, guys. It is huge. Bengals win the division, they win. And Ravens loss, Bengals win the division. Bengals and Ravens play Week 18. Can't wait for that one. That's going to be a huge one. Dolphins win and Jets loss, they get in. Dolphins win and Jets loss, they get in. Lots going on this weekend. Make sure to look at these scenarios before placing bets. I did that like I mentioned. There's not a ton of teams that are going to rest guys, in my opinion. I don't see any. To be honest, all these games mean something. Week 18 is where it's going to happen more. Let's get right into it. Starting with Panthers at Bucs. Bucs -3, total 40.5. What a story this NFC South has been, right? Bucs lead the division at 7-8. So I think the winner of this division is going to be 8-8. It's going to be maybe. It could be 8-9. It could be 9-8. It's going to be terrible. Anyways, somehow the Bucs continue to find ways to either come back in games or win close ones. Ugly. Carolina, though, has won 3 of their last 4 after, many teams thought they were tanking. I was one of them. I didn't think they're going to go on this run at the end of the season here. I probably have lost on a couple games because of that. Somehow Carolina is winning with nobody. Limited weapons all over the place. Traded CMC. They got rid of their coach. They have no number 1 quarterback, yet they continue to find ways. And it's mainly due to their defense. Their defense shows up at times. I can't say all the time. And they found a run game, right? Foreman and Hubbard have been running well for this team at times. They're just very inconsistent, this Carolina team. You don't know what team's going to show up from week to week, right? Pittsburgh. They got destroyed by Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago, and they come back, beat a Lions team that's hot. I don't know. I don't know how to predict this team. This team's very difficult to bet against. On the road here in Bucs. Again, you asked me who to bet, gun to my head. I'm going to take the Bucs here on the money line. I just don't like betting against this Panthers team right now. Very difficult team to bet against. You can see time and time again. They're proving everyone wrong, winning these games with the limited weapons. Darnold has done a good job, right? He's been playing decently. He's 3-1 since taking over. The run game last week was outstanding. Both guys, Foreman and Hubbard, went over 100 yards, and that's what it has to be here. They were able to do it in the first game against the Bucs. Remember, they handled the Bucs 21-3 in the same type of situation. They had a worse quarterback in that one. They had P.J. Walker in that game, beat the Bucs 21-3 in Carolina. Keep that in mind, right? We know the defense is good. Burns, probably one of the best pass rushers, linebackers in the NFL. Let's not forget about that. Issue here, and it is a big loss. Horn's out. Best corner on this team, and probably one of the best in the NFL. He is out for the year. That's huge. It's huge, guys. It's going to allow Evans, it's going to allow Godwin to move around a little bit, and Brady to have that secondary open a little bit. It's a big loss, and it does factor a little bit here on my decision to play the Bucs if I had to. Is the Bucs going to make my card this week? Probably not. I've seen Carolina fuck too many people over so far this year. I'm staying away. I'm staying away from this game completely. What you would have to look at is maybe if you can get some good prices on the props to go under on Darnold passing. I think they're going to run a lot in this game. You can look at the rushing yards over for the guys. It's difficult though. Foreman and Hoover, they kind of share duties, so it's tough to predict what guy's going to go off. Sure, last week both went off, but I don't see that happening again here. Bucs rush D's not great. You can run on this team, especially with Vita Vea. I think he's still out. I didn't check that beforehand, but obviously if he's not out, it's a huge loss. And then, Bucs, they have been looking a little better on defense. It's just it's not consistent yet. They haven't had a consistent game on defense yet, and they showed that in the Bengals game. Bengals game, the first half, they were incredible on defense. Second half, it got exposed. So they haven't put that team. They are getting healthier, though. The Bucs are getting healthier on defense. I think they play well here, and I do think the Bucs get a win here at home in Tampa to get that playoff seed, and I do think they win the division if they win as well. Dolphins at Pats. Pats -3, total 41. This should be a fun one. However, tough to see Tua, who again has another concussion, and his career is going to be in question. So, how many concussions they had this year alone, right? It's not looking good for him. And in comes Teddy Bridgewater. He could do worse at backup quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think he's a bad backup. He's been backup for this team before. He's played for this team. He's played all around the league for backups and starter as well, right, in New Orleans. So you can do a lot worse. However, I'm going to favor the Pats here. At home, it's -3. There's some -2.5s out there. I got a 2.5 earlier today, actually. So I am letting you guys know I did bet the Pats -2.5. You can get them in the teaser market as well, +4, +4.5. That's a good look. Total's tough here at 41. You don't know how well Bridgewater's going to play. But if you're giving me the Pats at home, you're giving me the defense that's played very well, especially in the last game against the Bengals in the second half. I think that should carry over here. And this Miami secondary is terrible, guys. It's terrible. Towards the bottom 5 in all categories in the secondary, passing yards, percentage rate from quarterbacks, wide receivers, etc. Jones should be able to exploit this team. And I did like what I see from Jones in the second half against the Bengals. A very good defense in Cincinnati. This defense should get exposed against Miami. Obviously, if Jones ain't able to throw the ball and expose the secondary, they're going to lose this game. Their run game hasn't been as great. Right, Pats like to lean on the run. Hasn't been great the last 3 games. Stevenson's been struggling. He needs to be better. He needs to be able to run the ball a little bit here. But I think Jones has a good game here. I'm waiting for his passing yards to come on. I haven't seen it as of yet. So I may be betting his passing yards over because I don't think this game is going to be a blowout. I think it should be a fairly close game, and Jones is going to have to throw throughout the game. And I do think that's a way to beat the Dolphins. Don't try to run on them. Their run's good, top 10 in the league. And Pats have been struggling, so I do think they throw the ball here. They throw the ball a ton, and that's how they beat the Dolphins this weekend. I just can't go all in on Teddy Bridgewater on the road in a hostile environment in New England. I'm going to take the Pats at -2.5 all day, shop around, get that price. Pats money line as well. I'm going to have a bet on them this weekend. We are excited for this one, guys. Bills -1 versus Bengals, total 49.5. What a game we have here on Monday night. 2 of the top 3 teams in the AFC, maybe in the NFL. We may see this in the playoffs. This might be the AFC finals. Never know, right? Bills want to continue this win and try to get the home field advantage. They got to get a win here, guys. This isn't just because they're already in the playoffs that's it. No, they want home field advantage throughout the playoffs in Buffalo in the cold. It's a huge deal, right? The Bengals are playing for that as well, and for the North, the AFC North. You want to win that, right? And they're on a 7-game winning streak. This is a very difficult team to bet against right now. It's Bengals or nothing for me. You can get that money line at +100. Sign me up at the value there. There's value with the Bengals. It's a team to hard to bet against right now. I'll take the Bengals on the money line, +100. Shop around for best price. And on the total here, 49.5, I would have to do a slight lean to the under. Bengals allowing 20 a game, which is 9th in the NFL, and the Bills allowing only 17.5 points per game, which is 2nd. So I'm going to lean. Both teams have good defenses. I know they have great offenses as well, but if you look at the numbers here, Bengals, Burrow struggled a little bit the past 3 games, 4 interceptions. Allen also has struggled a little bit as of late in his last 6 games. Hasn't been himself. So I can see, when these two teams combining for 37 points allowed per game, I can see this ending up in low 40s. Would I be surprised if it goes over with these two offenses and it turns into a shootout? Maybe not. But I do expect to be cold there in Cincinnati. I expect maybe them to run the ball a little more than usual because they do obviously both defenses are going to be planning for the passing attack. Maybe someone mixes it up there. But yeah, I'll lean the under 49.5 and the Bengals on the money line due to the price being at home, being a hard team to bet against right now, winning 7 straight games. Teaser. Let's leave you guys with a teaser. We hit one for you last week. So hopefully you tailed that. I did miss out on a personal one because I did want to bet on the Thursday game to have some action on it. Took the Jets, +8. They didn't show up at all. Tough one there. This week, Chargers just to win at home. against the Rams. Bengals, like we just talked about, +8. Get them at +8 there. And if you want a third, there's a 7-point teaser. If you want a third, guys, 49ers, I think, just -2.5. Just win by field goal with the Carless Raiders. And not just the Raiders, not just Carr being out. Jones is out in that game. Pierman, they have some losses there on the defense end, so I think the Chargers just win on their defense. Chargers score, if 49ers score 13 points in this game, they should win this game. Underdog of the week. We just missed out last week with a late Pittsburgh TD. Very late, right? Raiders were winning that whole game. Pittsburgh scored late at home. I think we have a few options here this week. Hard to narrow it down to one I just really like, right? We have Browns at Washington. Carson Wentz is starting, so I don't mind taking the Browns. It's gonna be my favorite this week, Browns, to get a road win there. Steelers at Ravens, sure, right? Without Lamar, however, I do think Ravens D is going to be able to win them that game. I think Steelers is an option there. Get that at a better plus price. But I'm going to lean the Browns. I'm going to lean the Browns here for the underdog play of the week. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Thank you to everyone who tunes in this whole year. It's been another year. I've been doing this 4 or 5 years now. Getting consistent viewers. Obviously, would love if the numbers were higher, but that's what happens when you do it on your own, right? I'm doing this on my own, not joining websites. I've been asked to join websites over the years and just give them plays for their following, but no, I'm buying into system capping. I'm buying into myself, bet on myself like I have here on my arm. And this is what I want to do. This is what I love doing. This is what I enjoy doing. And, when you enjoy something and you're able to have a clientele and a following and video viewers, you wake up every day wanting to provide for them and you're happy to wake up to doing what you love. And this is what I love. So you'll see me here for a long time, guys. UFC videos will be back on the 14th. I'll be back here next week, obviously with the wild card, week 18, and then the wild card after. Looking forward to that one as well. Like I always say, guys, first of all, Happy New Year. Enjoy your New Year. And like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.